Hey there. So it looks like those first two bits came out good, and it was just this third one that maybe there was trouble with. Yeah, that's correct. So for this one, the easiest way, you had the slope right, that is going to go over 2 and down 1, so it would be the slope's negative 1/2. But you would need to get the y-intercept on there, and I think you just had negative 1/2 x. So the easiest way to do this by far is to kind of go, if it's going over 2 and down 1, if I go back 1, it's going to go up to halfway between 3 and 4 because the slope is 1/2. And so it's going to turn out to be y equals negative 1/2 x. And it'd be 3.5, but we don't really like decimals there, so I would write that as a fraction 7/2, and I think in the answer it's shown as 7/2, but it's really just 3.5, right? Because it's going to be halfway between 3 and 4. So that's the easiest way, is to trace back on the graph. That said, there could certainly be a situation where it was harder to see where that was going to hit if this was something with crazy numbers. So let me just show you how to do that in that event, and just looking at it is definitely the better way. So we do have, we know the slope, and I can use a point. I think I'm just going to use 1, 3 right there as my point on this line, and then figure out what the equation of the line would be that went through the point 1, 3, which this one does, and has a slope of negative 1/2. So I can use point slope, or I can use slope intercept for this. I'll use y equals mx plus b. Oops, let me make that a little more x-like. That said, there's a couple of different ways of doing that step, but here's one version. So this would be 3, m would be 1/2, x would be 1 plus b, and I could have used any of these points on this line, so nothing special about this one. 3 equals negative 1/2 plus b, add the 1/2 over, and there you're at 3/2 equals b. 3/2, 3 times 2 would be 6 plus 1. There's that same 7/2 that I got. So for this one, either by inspection or there's one version of the math that would get that done. Likewise, real quick, you could also do y minus y1 equals mx minus x1 and put in your slope and your point and clean all that up, and you would get to this exact same equation.